The school head teachers look after the administration and management of the school. Department of Education of the Central Tibetan Administration is the apex body which has the mandate to give guidance and oversee the education of the entire Tibetan community in exile. Under the department, there are 4 main organizations which run 62 schools to equip school leaders with the updated knowledge and skills required to develop a clear vision and implement an effective plan for a school that prioritizes student learning. The Department of Education organized a school leadership program for principals and head teachers of schools under the management of Sambhota Tibetan School Society. And I'm very pleased to have 2 of the school principals here with us today in our studio, STS Dholanji Principal, Mr. Namgyal Yemphel, and Principal of STS Kalimpong, Mrs. Tsering Tsomo. Welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
We are here to discuss the management and the administration of Tibetan schools in exile, and with a new creative ideas and vision, and also to address the challenges at hand. So first, to give our audience a little idea about your background in the school leadership field, please tell us briefly about yourself and your role as a school principal.
Hello and Tashitalek to all. My name is Namgyal Yemphel. Currently, I'm working as the principal of STS Dholanji. I've been working in different capacities for the last 26 years, and as a school head, I've been working since 2006. So that makes me around 17 years of experience in the field of administration. So this is what I wanted to say about myself.
And Madam.
Hello, Tashitalek, everybody. I am Tsering Tsomo. Currently, I'm a principal of STS Kalimpong, but I have initially begun my career as a PRT at CST Tezu. I worked there as a PRT for 2 years, and thereafter I was promoted after facing an interview for TGT. I was transferred to Balakopi. I worked there for 2 years. Then for the last 29 years, I worked as a TGT English, and thereafter I got promoted to PGT. So in total, this is the 35th year of my career and my association with the educating the children of Tibetan.
Principal oversees all higher level operations in a school, meaning they create a safe learning environment and set performance goals both for students and teachers, and oversee the process so that those goals are obtained. So as a school principal, out of many responsibilities that you have in your hand, so what do you think is the most important one and challenging one at the same time, or not?
Of the many responsibilities that principal has to work, the key is the instructional leadership. By instructional leadership, I mean that the principal has to see to that the child gets the required education and that the teachers fulfill the academic performance. So, of course, unlike other school systems, Sambhota principal has the unique responsibility of not only looking after the academics, but also the day-to-day administration. And if there is a hostel, he also has to take care of the hostel. And the key role that I think the role of a principal is to lead in the academic field. So this is the most important job of a principal. And it is also challenging because there are a lot of work that we need to look after, and the issue of the priority. So this is what is the most important thing that a principal has to look after. And also he has to be a transformational leadership because the school is what the principal is. If a principal is a lackluster principal, that will show on the school culture. So he has to not only lead by example, but also be the transformational agent that not only takes along the teachers, but also the students and the general parents also. Yeah.
So basically CEO of the school, right?
You can say that. You can say that.
It's almost like that.
Okay, and what about you, ma'am?
I agree with what Namgyal has stated, but I have a different perspective. Yes, of course, whatever he has spoken is truly agreed upon, but I think the most challenging and the most important, apart from what Namgyal has spoken, is to create an environment which is very conducive to learning. Rather, you can say a positive environment for the learning. So to create that environment is one of the most challenging things. And as we all know, that to start with something new is easy, but to retain that and continue with that is very challenging. So this is what I feel.
Yeah. And Madam La, so talking about the challenges, the problems or the challenge we call it that we see right now in Tibetan school across India at the moment is where there's a stark fall or a decrease in number of children or students in schools, right? So how much do you or can you relate to this situation in your school, and how do we handle it? Madam, you can.
Okay. Yes, the dropping down of the strength in Tibetan school is a very serious issue, and I think it has many factors. But I should say, fortunately, in the case of my school, that is Sambhota Tibetan School, Kalimpong, compared to the last year's strength, this year the number of children has increased. Last year we have a total enrollment of strength of nearly 377 students, and this year the number has increased to 428. So I see there is some positivity, and I think if we create a culture in the school and if we give a positive message to the local community, because in Kalimpong we have many Tibetan sending their children to the convent and the public school where English is taught from the beginning. But then if we convey the message to them that if you send your children to the Tibetan school, like Sambhota school, and the success rate, if you look at the alumni who pass out from Tibetan school, from in the erstwhile CST, they are doing very good in their life. In my case, I have educated both of my children in this CST school, so they are doing very well. So if I pass on this exemplary message to the community, I think maybe that is one reason why many Tibetan community of Kalimpong now wanted to send their children to our school. So I'm hoping that this year the number of enrollment will be increased. Thank you.
All right, so what ma'am said is quite commendable. However, the reality is that the trend of the decrease of number of students is quite obvious across the school system. And I look at it in a different way. By that I mean that there are certain problems that we have a say to it, and there are certain things that we don't have any say. And I don't see the trend changing. By that I mean that the number of students will continue to decrease because of the migration that is taking place and also because of the birth rate that is there in our society. So the trend of the students decreasing, particularly Tibetan students decreasing, will continue, and I don't see that changing in the near future. Having said that, it is also it will also give us an opportunity to give individualized concentration or attention to the students. When the number of students are more in the class, then individual attention and the quality may suffer. But because of the decreased number of students, the individual attention to the students will be benefited. So this is the positive side. And the reality is the number of students will continue to decrease. This is what is my assumption.
Oh, okay. And talking about the workshop, which is why you are here in Dharamshala at this moment. So the workshop itself is a continuation of the previous modules, which was led by the Mahatattva, right?
Yes.
The education advisory organization based in Delhi, Gurugram. So you both have completed the 2-day, the second half of the module here in Dharamshala, and the second day today. So can you tell us about what's the major takeaway that you have learned from them over the few months?
Yeah, there were actually, in total, there are 8 modules, out of which 7 are now covered. 4 of them was done through online. For me personally, the takeaway is to know about how to foster collaboration, professional development, and team building. Because just as people say that raising a child, it takes a village to raise a child. So we need to have the support of all the stakeholders. By that I mean not only just the school administration, teacher, also the students and the parents. Particularly in the case of Tibetans, the participation of the parents is something that can be much better than what it is right now. So through this particular workshop, I learned how we can collaborate not only with other schools, but also how can we engage all the stakeholders, particularly how can we get in touch with the parents through the use of technology, because people often say, my child is a priority for me, but then they don't have the time. So in that particular scenario, how can the technology help us to get in touch with the parents? So this is what is the major takeaway for me.
And also, I saw from the schedule, when you talked about the technology, there's a mention of AI. How does Tibetan school include that?
Right. The Department of Education has been very kind to all the Tibetan schools to provide us the required ICT. And almost all the schools have the required tablets and the laptops. And AI is the future. So since we are preparing students for the 21st century, so there is no option but to adopt the new technologies. So today, the last session was about AI. How can we use AI to make our job easier? Having said that, AI is an artificial intelligence that requires our intelligence at the same time. It's not just that AI will replace us. It can be a very good tool to make school running as well as teaching learning process much more convenient and easier. So this is what is being taught. They have introduced us a few websites like the Google Bard that we can use to make our job easier.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, madam?
So through the Tibettv, I would also like to extend my thanks to the DOE, CTA, for providing our school also with the ICT provisions. Last year we have received a number of nearly 67 laptops and 15 tablets from DOE, apart from the projector and the smart board also. So when we talk about this, the takeaway from our course, it's not easy to mention just one takeaway. But then I think what I have learned and going to emphasize is the inclusion of diversity in the learning in the school environment, where we have to sensitize that everyone is different, but all are respected, where every student should feel that he or she is taken care of, he or she, his or her opinion is respected, and so that nobody should feel aloof, that they are also included. So I think this is the major takeaway, apart from the use of AI.
Okay, and one of the other thing from this workshop, I believe the Mahatattva, the organizations, they offer like cutting new ideas for school curriculum, which will help the school curriculum, and also new vision for the school ideas, right, for the leaders. So the curriculum they map are usually, they are based on the NCERT and also in line with the national education policy of this country, of India, right? And also looking at our community, we have a policy in place as well, right? Tibetan basic education policy, and also with the guidance and with the grace of His Holiness, we have sea learning, which is ever more becoming more popular, and many people and many countries they are taking part in it. So how do you think these basic new ideas and policies, how do you incorporate that with in your school?
Yeah, actually, with regards to the education policy, the basic education policy for Tibetan in exile, which was started implementing from 2005, is a pioneering work, and we all should be very proud of the fact that we could now initiate this sort of policy way before the Indian government envisioned it. So the NEP 2020 and the BEP for Tibetans in exile, there are lots of similarities, particularly the focus on regional language or the mother tongue. That is something that is that was made very important in BEP, is also stressed in the NEP 2020. Now, one common strand that I found with regards to NEP 2020, then BEP and sea learning, is the focus on empathy and compassion and understanding. Sea learning also focuses on the awareness of one's own emotion, controlling one's emotion, and also just as in BEP we talk about the altruism. So these are all the common strengths. So in a way, the national education policy also stresses on respecting diversity, I'd say common understanding, and the focus on regional language or the mother tongue. So this is the common strand that I found. Yeah.
I agree with what Namgyal has spoken, that we have a basic education policy by the Tibetan government in exile, and you know, it has been envisioned much earlier than the NAP, as Gela has already stated. But then sea learning is something new to our school, because when we were a CST 2 years ago, we don't know about sea learning. But after taking over from the CST, and when we are now promoting this sea learning curriculum in our school, so I think this sense of gratitude, promoting a sense of gratitude among the students, empathy, understanding, respect to others, this we can easily promote through the activity of the within the framework of sea learning, which we have been doing very successfully for the last 1.5 years.
And talking about the CTSA, from your school, Kalimpong Tibetan School, the formerly was actually with the CTSA school, right? And right now, recently came under the Sambhota Tibetan School Society, I think in 2021, and also for again like your school, Dholanji, 2018, I guess.
Right.
So, can you share your experience? How was it like, and what are the changes or development that you have seen in your school? Madam?
In my case, I was in CST Kalimpong for the last many years, till I was transferred to Missouri in 2019. From 97 to 2019, I was in Kalimpong. So during that time, we were under the CTSA government. The school sustains, I can proudly say, with the help of Indian government, no doubt, financed by the government of India. We are very much in gratitude to the government of India for that. But the school sustains with the hold and the hard work of Tibetan teachers. Only few of us are alive and still continuing with it. Yes, now we are totally under the different setup. Now it is run by our own government, SDSS. In terms of the curriculum is mostly same, but now the number of Tibetan staffs in our school is much more than when we were in CST, because when we were in CST, there were only 16 Tibetan teachers not only teachers, including all the staff, warden, matron, and the non-teaching also. But now we are nearly 33 Tibetan staffs there. So I hope, and I really hoping positively that the school will progress, because these young Tibetan staff will definitely exhibit their best in maintaining the cultural background of our rich heritage of our Tibetan. So I am hoping for the best.
Right. For me, unlike Madam, I have been working in Sambhota, and I was transferred to Dholanji only in March of 2021. But then the school was taken over in the year 2018. So it has been almost like over 5 years. And what I get to know from the settlement people and also from the students is that they see a change in the way they are taken care of. But having said that, I don't mean to say that the Indian teachers didn't take care of them. But then the children do feel a difference because of the change in administration, and it's also shown in the results also. So collectively, when you take into consideration the nurturing of the young minds and also the ease of conversation between the teacher and the taught, that is the stark change, the cultural change that we can see in the in our school. Most of the school that I have gone to, since I also worked as a director of Sambhota for 3 years, so I have visited all the Tibetan schools under Sambhota, and over a period of time, one of the starking change that I can see is the way the relationship between the teacher and the taught has changed. Because I grew up under the CTSA school. I studied in CST biology till class 12. And the relationship between the teacher and the taught is that of fear. But right now, fear is not there. By that, I don't mean that children don't care. There is love, and children feel very easy to approach if they have any issues. So holistically, when you go to a school, we understand the culture and the environment through what we see, what we hear, and what we feel. And at the moment, there is positivity all around. So this is the change that I can think of.
Also, the change that I can think of right now, you're moving to south, right?
Right.
You're leaving Dholanji school, and then you're, I think it's Monkot, the new principal. So what do you look forward to that?
Yeah, I got the transfer order almost like 45 days ago. And since then, I am kind of in 2 schools at the same time. One school I'm leaving after having worked for almost 2 years and 9 months. And one school, it's a new assignment for me, a new challenge, because the school that I'm going to is much bigger in terms of the number of students and also in terms of the streams. Because in Dholanji we have only humanities, whereas in Mungkot we have humanities, we have commerce, we have science, we have vocational. So it's a new challenge for me, but I look forward to bring in positive change. I have certain ideas that I would like to implement, and hopefully in the next 3, 4, 5 years, you will definitely hear something positive from down south. Thank you.
Okay. And before signing off with this conversation, I'd like to ask, as the head of the school, how do you manage, make sure the students to have the basic foundation skills and to prepare them for the real life outside the school?
I think normally what we do theoretically in the school is somewhere different from the real life situation. But being a student and being an educator of the 21st century, I think it's very important to inculcate the life skills, the skills that is needed for the 21st century to survive in this modern world. So out of the many skills, the skill that is coming in my mind at the right moment is the communication skill. Our children do have good conversation, good communication skill, but then they have a fear in their mind that if they speak English, if they speak, in our case in the Kalimpong, we have a problem, children have a problem because most of them are Himalayan background, so they have a problem of speaking Tibetan. But once, and of course English also, but once they get out of the school, they can speak, they can understand. So developing our communication is very important. Other than that, if we give them a hand-on project, the real life problem solving situation, if we just create a situation, if we give them a problem to solve at themselves, if we let them be free and solve it, I think then they will be able to learn the critical thinking, problem solving skills. So these are the basic skills the children needed. And then in our school, recently we have, this year only, with the initiative from one of my young teacher, Ge Kamathakpala, and another is Gemi Matundula, they have initiated 2 clubs. One is Eco Club, and where children has voluntarily came up to participate in that club. And these 2 clubs, the Compassion Club and the Eco Club, they're doing a wonderful job. And we have received a lots of appreciation from the community also, because these 2 clubs are keeping the school neat and clean. It's a life skill. They know how to take responsibility. And they also have the skill of empathy and, shouldering the responsibility, giving back to the community. So these 2 clubs, every Sunday, they just go out of the school and do a community service. So I think these types of skill is very important as a hand-on project skills. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, I just would like to add a few things what ma'am has said. To survive in the real world, I feel the emotional management is again very, very important, and that comes from self-awareness, and that through the learning activities we are able to inculcate them to be self-aware of their own emotions and how to manage their emotions, and the skill of resiliency. All right. Of course, in life we'll always face problems. It's not how, it's basically about how we deal with those problems, and you need to have a resilient attitude. And also the skill of adaptability. When I think of adaptability, I remember what Alvin Toffler has famously said that the illiterates of the future will not be those who can't read or write. It will be those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. So this is something that we need to consciously focus on our students to make them adapt to new situations, to learn new things, and then due to the changing times and the environment, unlearn what you have learned that has become obsolete, and again have the skill to relearn things. So this is how we can face the new challenges and the new world that we live in.
Do you have any more important thing that's left that you want to add on?
Yeah, I would like all the Tibetans to be proud of who we are and consciously work on preserving and promoting our language and culture. So this is something which is the responsibility of every Tibetan, whether you are in India or outside of India. Of course, there will be a lot of challenges, but if we lose our identity and our language, then we are no one. So
Okay, sir.
we need to work on it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Madam?
I also think the same way that we should be proud of our identity, because we have a leader which no one has in this world. To someone we can just rely upon, and then we should be proud of our identity. This is what I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Okay, so these are my questions for today, sir and madam. It was wonderful having you to here today in our studio and talk to us about a very important topic and a very insightful discussion that we just had about education and about a lot of other things with your experience at the workshop and what you can now. I think you're ready with new ideas, new vision to go back to your school and implement them to your students and teachers, colleagues. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
With this, we have come to the end of today's program of In Conversation with Tibettv. Thank you so much for watching.